that way. All right. Ooh, sit up here. So my head ain't sticking out. Hopefully, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna find something better to hold my mic on. I hope that works. I hope so. All right. All right. So let me just get started. I won't really expect to see anybody. It is very late. Um, so I was supposed to come live. So the last time I was live was Wednesday, I believe, last week, Wednesday during the week. I was supposed to come live on Saturday. I didn't make it. I didn't make it Monday. I didn't make it Tuesday. So now it is Wednesday morning at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I wanted to do a live and do my hair routine. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about um, when I get into my hair routine is the mass overdose at Penn North in Baltimore City. Hi, Jay. How are you? Nice to see you here. Please make sure that you like the live. So I am in Baltimore City. So yeah. So let me just get started with my hair routine. So I have not done anything with my hair. How are you? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I have not did anything with my hair since Wednesday. So my hair is very, very dry. I walk through the fire with gasoline. Okay. All right. Here we go. This is what I should expect at 2 o'clock in the morning. But okay, all right. I'm good first time here from Mississippi. Okay, welcome here, welcome here. I do a lot on my channel, on my lives. I just love to discuss topics that's in the news or something that came up on my Google feed, things that I've heard, things that I've seen. I like to discuss different topics or whatever and do my hair at the same time. So I'm good. Okay. Hi, Daria. All right. So let me just get started. So I am moisturizing and sealing my hair. So I am going to start with my liquid conditioner, which is this Hawaiian Silky 14 in 1 Miracle Worker. So it does 14 things in one. And then what liquid L liquid cream. And I'll be doing my cream, which is today I have matter of factly I don't think I want this one. Let me see where's my other one. Yeah, let's change that out. So I'm gonna do the Shea Moisture, Manuka Honey, and Mafura Oil Intensive Hydration Leave-In Conditioner with fig extract and bamboo oil. That's a lot. That was a big sentence. Hi. Wow. All right, I'm a truck driver. I was making trucking videos. I don't cut back a lot. Oh, why? Why you cut back a lot? Let me I'm still here, you guys. I just made a mess over here in my corner here and I need to get this stuff up real quick. That's what I get for switching stuff out at the last minute. All right. Okay. All right. Now I just made myself hot. And this is the only room in my house that doesn't have air conditioning. So yeah, I have my fan on. So, but anyway, let me just get started. not driving much anymore. Yeah, it's a lot going on. A lot going on right now with truckers as well. I want to talk about some of that stuff too. That's yeah. But anyway, so yeah, that's my cream conditioner. And this is my oil. This is a mixture of almond oil and rosemary oil. So yeah. Let's see. I'm fixing to change my channel to a garden and landscape. Oh, that is really nice. I love that. I love that. That we need that. We definitely need that. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's see here. Yeah, because we're not. I'm not about to play none of them games. That's not. I already told you guys what the live's about, so we're not playing those games. So let me just get started. Um, so firstly, let me say, like I said before, ooh, something just on my eye. I am from Baltimore City. I live in Baltimore City. So when I originally heard about the mass overdoses, it came across my TikTok feed. I was on TikTok, it came across my TikTok feed. And I'm like, mass overdoses. So, okay, all right. So the first thing I was thinking when I heard mass overdoses, I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm thinking a lot of people unalive because I'm thinking of overdoses, so that's what I'm thinking. And then a little later, I heard on the news that nobody on that day. This happened on June, no July. This happened July 10th. So on that day, nobody unalive, which thank God they didn't. So they said there were over 20, I believe 25 overdoses in that area, around that, in the area, around the area. So since I am from Baltimore and I know the area very well, that is an area that unfortunately for a long time now has been known for rug activity. And I say rug because I can't say the real word because I'm on YouTube. So that area is really known for rug activity. It is a big, they call it an open air um, rug market or whatever, because a lot of rugs um, are being handled. It's always funny when I'm on YouTube because it's like I gotta try to censor my words because I don't want YouTube to cut my live off. But it's a lot of rugs being handled in that area openly. Um, yes, the police is around a lot of times and they don't do anything. I don't know what type of laws are in place currently about rug activity, but nothing, happens. They do all that out in the open. So we in Baltimore know that this is what you see if you go into this area. You're going to see um, a lot of addicts and a lot of rug activity out in the open. Um, it just surprises me a lot when I see certain things. So I was on the train because I commute to work often. I was on the train and I seen an older lady. She was like, had to be like in her 60s or whatever, and she had a walker. And sometimes, some anyway, I just seen her on the train and she was, I guess, waiting for the train or whatever. And when I first walked up in the area where she was, she had her walker. She had a walker. She was sitting on a little bench or whatever, and she had like a veil or something, like a sheet or something over top of her head, um, over the walker. So I thought that was a little strange, but I mean, you see a lot of strange stuff, especially when you ride in public transportation or whatever. You see lots of strange stuff. So that didn't really strike me as strange. Um, And then a little while later, I was still waiting for the train or whatever. And then I noticed like that same lady was she was dozing off. She was nodding off or whatever. And it was just so shocking to me. I don't know why it was so shocking to me, but it was so shocking to me because like she looked like she could be old enough to be my grandmother. Like so I just was putting my head in a frame of mind like my grandmother like so anyway, that's the type of things that go on in that area. So I don't know when it started to be so bad in this area. I was born in 82, so I'm not privy to a lot of things that were going on beforehand. What I can say, what I know about that area in the 90s and the early 2000s. I frequent that area frequently because, ironically, the Enoch Pratt Free Library is actually on the corner there. So that was a library that my mom took us to when we were children, me and my brother, when we were children, a lot. And I cannot say that when I was a child that I noticed any of this activity going on. I'm sure it was going on, but as a child, it wasn't nothing like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't nothing shocking that I can remember. As I got older, when I became a teenager, I had school projects and stuff. I would go to the library by myself or whatever. And I was a child that I was very into the books very heavily uh, until I hit like probably like high school, and then things just went all downhill for me. But anyway, I was heavily into like researching things and learning new things. I always so fascinated with different cultures and mythology. Like I was fascinated with a lot of stuff. So I stayed at the library a lot. So I never really noticed anything out of the ordinary around that time. So I want to say that it started getting really, really bad. I want to say in that area had to be between like 1995 ish or whatever and on up or whatever, whereas though it is very bad. It's a very bad area. A lot of people don't travel in that area unless they live in that area. So yeah. So from the research that I've done and heard back in the 1960s, I believe it was a really a flourishing area. Like the jazz, it was jazz on the scene. Musicians came to that area to play. I heard Lena Horne was there. I heard all the big musicians back in the 60s frequent that area. And when I look back at pictures of that area, it looks like a total different area. So back in the 60s, I heard it was a very popular place to be. It was like the it place to be if you came to Baltimore. Um, but things have drastically changed in that area. Drastically. So, you know, it's just one of those things that this is what happens in this area. Now, what I found really ironic is that while this is the type of activity that usually occurs in this area, usually there's not a lot of media attention in this area. There's usually not a lot of media attention at all. So it was really kind of out of the ordinary that the news cameras was on the scene. They had ambulance out there helping everybody. So then later on, I found out that um, this wasn't no ordinary rug or whatever. This is a new rug that the news crew interviewed somebody. They're calling it New Jack City or whatever. Um, why they calling it that, I have no idea. So from what has been reported, the rug actually has it's a mixture of, I think they say either freon or the stuff that goes in the air conditioners basically. So it's mixed with that. So how they said that the people got a hold of it is that they the guys or whatever, the boys, the D boys or whatever, they ran some testers. So basically, in the rug world, that is basically trying to get people hooked on the rug. So they give them a free sample of the rug or whatever, so they can come back and get more. So that's how all of these people got a hold of this rug, is because it was a free tester. Um, so yeah, uh, rug abuse addiction runs rampant in Baltimore, and I don't know if it's more rampant in Baltimore than any other city, inner city. Probably not. And I didn't realize how big Baltimore was for drug use until I don't know, probably like the 90s or the early 2000s or so, whatever. Um, I remember a song by 50 Cent called Baltimore Love Thing. And when I first heard the song, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. He's shouting out Baltimore. But then somebody told me, like, no, like he's talking about drug use. So I went back or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I had to go back and listen to the lyrics of the song and actually see what he was actually talking about. And it's real. It's very real. Um, I can say in my family, in my immediate family that I know of, I know I knew of at least two people that was infected with drug addiction. That would be my dad and a cousin. Um, my dad, I didn't so much know when I was growing up that he was on bugs. I always had this idea or thought or whatever that my dad was just like a wino or whatever. I thought that he liked to drink a lot. I thought he had an alcoholic problem. I didn't know he had a drug problem. Um, it wasn't until later, way later, I believe, actually after my father died, that I really found out that. But it's a little dry. That I actually found out that I should have drunk my water first. That I actually found out he had a drug addiction. Um, I talked about this before, but my dad was not there for me when I was growing up. And I thought partly that was because he was an alcoholic. Um, and I didn't understand at the time, like, why my dad wasn't there, why all my other friends, they were come to school and be like, oh, I'm going over my dad's house for the weekend, or I spent the summer at my dad's house, or so we went to Six Flags and this, that, and the third. I didn't really understand why I didn't have a dad, basically. Um, so like I remember growing up, I would make up stories with my friends and tell my friends like all this cool stuff that I did with my dad, and it was all lies. It was all lies because my dad wasn't there. So when I when I grew up later on, I think I was about I had to be like 20, 26, 27, I believe, up in that age or whatever. Um I remember my mother telling me like my dad's in the hospital. He had been in the hospital before. So like it wasn't nothing new. So I remember my mother telling me like your dad's in the hospital and you really need to get to the hospital. So when if my mother told me that, I'm gonna listen to what my mother tells me to do. So I went to the hospital and I seen my dad. And my dad was the smallest that I ever seen in my whole entire life. Like, he looked it bad. I never seen my dad look like that. He looked it bad. He was incredibly skinny, incredibly frail. His skin was very ashy and flaky. And I remember him scratching his arms, and I guess he asked the nurses for some lotion or whatever. So like, although I had a lot of animosity in me towards my dad, because so many things that happened in my life, I felt like at that time that it happened because my dad wasn't there. So at that time, I was holding a lot of animosity for him. So it was like, okay, let's hurry and get this visit over with. That's what I was kind of thinking in my head. So he talked to me, and he told me that he loved me. He wanted to be there. He's sorry that he wasn't there for me. Um, and he told me that he got into some things. He never went into detail to say like the things he got into. Um, and he said some things like he wished he could take back a lot of things. And then the one thing that stuck in my head that my dad said to me is that be careful who you call your friends. So he didn't go into details. He didn't explain. He didn't, yeah, that's all he said. So what I took from that, I took that and I held that very, very close to me. Like, I still hold that close to me till this day. Um, so after, all that, he did pass away, he did die. After all that, I I pieced together some things or whatever that maybe I'll talk about that in another live, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. But I found out the friends that he was talking about. Um, and it scared me. It scared me in a way to, like, I'm very extra cautious. I'm very extra careful about things. So back then, I was um I was a smoker. I smoked what word can I use? I smoked green. I smoked green. Um so yeah, back then I was a smoker. That's all I smoked. But those words held so close to me, whereas though I was extra cautious of who I smoked with. I had a boyfriend at one time. We were going through a lot. So, like, if we would argue and stuff or whatever, and he would try to bring something to me or whatever to smoke, I would not smoke it. I would not smoke it because them words that my dad said to me held so close in my head to my heart. Like, if you're upset with me, like, who's to say that you won't do a little sprinkle, do a little, like, so even if you're not upset with me, so like a lot of people get hooked on rugs exactly like that, exactly like that through their friends. They smoked something they didn't know it was laced with something, and they start getting hooked. Nowadays, like, I want to say to anybody that is smoking green right now, please be extra extra careful, um, because it's a lot. It's a lot. And I thank God. I thank God that I don't participate in them activities anymore. Um, because while you should not be participating in these activities, I just feel like at this point everything is an experiment. I think everything is an experiment. I think that even when it comes to these shops or whatever and everything, I think all of this is a big experiment. So yeah, people need to be extra careful. I just heard something somewhere or whatever. And when I break down this live, I'll probably put news clips and videos and stuff all that in there. But I just heard something somewhere that said that green is being tainted with fentanyl. So I just be very careful. That's all I'm going to say about that. But back to um that area and the mass overdoses or whatever. It it's a big thing. It's a big thing. So what I found really strange, and I seen a few posts or whatever, and they actually called out the same thing that I said actually, is that this is something that happens all the time. This happens all the time. So why is it such a big deal now? So that makes me think about things or whatever. Then I seen a news story. And this what really got me. The caption of the news story. The caption in the news story said Baltimore's rug Baltimore's rug use or rug activity or something like that flourish. So that caption really caught my eye because it's like, okay, this is a news story. So being a content creator or whatever, I understand about titles and captions or whatever. So you have to put a caption or a title that draw people in to see what is being talked about. And initially you are selling something in that caption basically. So if the news story says Baltimore rug activity flourish, like who are you trying to capture? What audiences is you trying to point towards Baltimore? Like it flourished. So it is so much. It's so much corrupt stuff that goes on. It's absolutely ridiculous to me. So some one of the somebody wanted I guess they interviewed a guy and he called himself a functional addict and he explained what a functional addict is. A functional addict is basically an addict that has an addiction, but they go to work, they move about as a regular person or whatever and everything, and on their time off they, you know what I'm saying, do what they do or whatever. So I've been around a lot of functional addicts or whatever. um so a couple things that he said that really stood out to me. So he said he said a lot. I'm not gonna lie, he said a lot. So one of the things he said was um he's been doing white stuff or whatever. Is it white stuff? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. He's been doing a substance or whatever for some years. I forgot how many years he actually said, but some years. And he said that this is in his all the time that he's been doing this substance, he's never seen so many young people addicted to substances. And that is very, very sad. That is very sad. Oh my goodness, that is so sad. And how these young people are getting addicted to these substances is they out, they hang with their friends, they trying stuff, they try this, they try that, and the next thing they just a full blown drug addict out here. Um, so it is very sad. So then he said that he want the city to put more money into rehab, which is a very good idea. I believe that is a very good idea. But the problem with that is, well, it's not a problem. But the thing about that is that people have to want to get help. And it's very sad for like family members of people of drug addicts or whatever, um, because they want nothing but their family member to get off of drugs. But their family member, whoever it is, they have to want it for themselves. So that is the first step. The first step is them actually wanting to get the help. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I don't know if them putting more money into rehab facilities will that actually work, make the problem work or whatever. I don't know what the answer is. I have no idea. But I know for that to work, people have to see that they have a problem, and they have to want to get help. Like, yeah. And going down the rabbit hole of drug use, it's a whole big thing. It's a lot of different reasons why people could be using drugs or on drugs or whatever. Um, One of the biggest ones is trauma. People are trying to run away from whatever trauma that they have experienced or they are experiencing, and they're trying to run away from it with drugs. So, all right, and what else did he say? Um, he said, well, somebody else said basically, the open air rug activity that goes on, the buying and the selling and all that or whatever, and the police don't do anything. I haven't checked out the laws as far as like any of that recently, but I do believe like there's a lot of corrupt things that's going on. I really do. I believe there's a lot of corrupt things going on. Um, I remember they don't talk about it anymore. They used to call it the war on drugs. There is no war on drugs because they they are the reason why the rugs is here. Um, I don't want to say too much because I don't want what time how many I don't want my live to get messed up. Last time I started talking about some stuff, my live got messed up. But it's very sad. All I can say, it's a very sad world that we live in. Um, it's a very sad world when like the people that are in control sit back and they have these meetings and do all these things, and how can we do this and how can we stop that, when they are the same people that's keeping everything going on. It's quite hilarious to me. It's very hilarious. um but I think the biggest thing that really took me is the caption of that news story. The caption of the news story just said it all, because it's like you're trying to draw people in. Baltimore rug activity flourish. So it's on and popping. It's popping here, huh? It's popping. That's the message that we're sending. It is very sad. I just think that they need to bring back programs like Scared Straight, because Scared Straight kept me in line. Kept me in line. And one thing I could remember, I never did anything until I turned 21. I didn't do anything. I didn't smoke anything until I turned 21. Because I was afraid. I was very much afraid. For one, I was afraid of my mom. And for two, we had scared straight programs in school. And the scared straight programs were basically recovering addicts coming to tell us their story. And I remember them coming in the classroom, and I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, this person looks bad. As a kid, that's what I said. As a kid, that's what I said. And then they started talking. And each one of them, every time they told their story, each one of them started off with, I started smoking green. So as a kid, the message became very clear in my head, like, oh, I ain't never smoking green. Because like if that's what you want to turn out looking like, then I'm not I'm not messing with that. I'm not messing with that. So I in my immediate life, I knew people that smoked green all their life. People that I hung around, they smoked green. I remember, oh boy, I remember I was about 14 or 15. First of all, I was a fast little girl. There was reasons why I was very fast, but anyway. And I remember a guy I used to hang out with. Um, I'm gonna call him Dexter. So I used to go over to Dexter house. I used to go to school and go over to Dexter house and do adult things or whatever. And I remember Dexter used to smoke green back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back. One blunt go out, next blunt roll up. Like it was a back to back thing with Dexter. Um, he always would try to, offer me something, and I'd be like, no, I don't do that. I don't do that. Mm-mm. Um, and Dexter had a lot going for himself. He had his own house, and it a lot at the time in my age, what I was thinking. He had a lot going on. He had a his own house. He had a car. He worked for the city. Like Dexter had a lot of stuff going on. Um, so I thought, he had it going on. So years and years and years and years and years later, I don't know, probably like 20 years later, um, I'm at work and a guy comes in and he's going to somewhere in my job or whatever. Um, and he looks at me. He's like, "Oh, you don't remember me, do you?" And I'm looking like, should I like, who are you? So he said, Dexter. And I looked at him and I was like, what? Oh my gosh. What what happened? What happened? Dexter was a fine young man. He was a fine young man. Um, and yeah, clearly he got into some drug use. So yeah, the rugs really take people down. It really, really take people down. And I wish that we had more programs like they had when I was in school. Like I said, I never touched anything until I turned 21. Um, and then when I turned 21, I smoked green. I smoked green for up until 35. No, I wasn't 35 now. Probably like 33 or 34. But the words of my father always stayed heavy in my head. I did have a low point. I probably will do. Did I do a story time about that? I did like a partial story time about that. But anyway, I had a low point in my life when I was just smoking green, actually. But I always told myself, like, if I don't have the money, then I can't do it. Point blank, period. I can't do it. Like I have bills, I had kids, like yeah, like it never came over top of none of my responsibilities and what I had to take care of. And then I will also take breaks because I realized that addiction, I want to say, I don't want to say runs in my family, but it's in my family or whatever. My father had an addiction problem. So therefore I realized like I could become addicted as well to substances and stuff or whatever. So I always would like spread take time out and not do anything. Ironically, I actually stopped smoking. I actually stopped smoking because I felt like I didn't try I don't trust people, first of all. I don't trust people. Back then when I was smoking green, I heard people were spraying roach spray on people's stuff or whatever. So it was like I don't trust anybody. So I had one guy, one guy that I trusted very well. Um, and it came to my attention that the guy, the guy, he kind of liked me a little bit or whatever. Um, he told me like he wanted to, yeah. And to me, like this is a business transaction. You you my dude. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like my green dude. You not like it's not that he wasn't attractive or whatever and everything. And I'm sure like other women would have been very attracted to him. But I'm more on like if it's business, it's business. Like that's it. Like it's business and strictly business. So like yeah, I ain't got time for all that other stuff or whatever. Now I did entertain him a little bit on like like a double date type of thing with my homegirl, but that's as far as it went. And then once I noticed like a lot of things or whatever, I started easing back because my idea in my head was like, if you are trying to get me that bad, you will do anything to try to get me. So that means if I go to you, you're the only one I trust. If I go to you to get something or whatever, you could possibly put something in my stuff to make me be an addict of something else for real. So those are the thoughts that came across my head. So I stopped smoking. I stopped smoking. But in my head, I was like, okay, well, I'm just stop smoking until I find somebody I can trust. And then ironically, while I was on my little break or whatever, or trying to find somebody to trust, um, I met my husband. And let me tell you about my husband. My husband is a very straight and narrow guy. Like my husband is the opposite of any guy that I used to be attracted to or whatever. Um, and at that time, that was exactly what I needed. My husband don't smoke. My husband barely drinks. Um, my husband abides by the rules when he drives, like to the point where as though like if he's supposed to drop you off somewhere and the lines is you can't it says the sign say don't park there, he'll drop you off way down the street somewhere because there's a sign that say don't park here. That like he like when I say he's very straight and narrow. um so one of the things that me and my husband talked about, well, this is before he became my husband. He was my boyfriend, or anyway, um, we were starting a relationship. But one of the things that he told me was, I told him like, yeah, I used to I used to smoke or whatever and everything. And now it's so funny because now we talk, we laugh and joke, and he brings up the fact that My lips were very black. And I had to go back and look at pictures like when we first started dating, and I'm like, well, they was, but like when you smoke, you don't, you, it's not, that's not something that you, but they were a little black or whatever. But anyway, one of the things that he told me when we first got together is that he do not like women that smoke. That's green cigarettes or anything. Um, so he told me that if I was to ever smoke green again or whatever, that he would leave me. And then this was in the quite beginning of our relationship. So in my head, I'm like, nigga, what is you talking about? Like you gonna leave me? I don't care. Like, do what you gotta do. Like, I'm not. That was my initial thought, and then some things happened. Um, and my brother, it was my brother who actually pointed it out that my husband was the best man that I had came in contact with pretty much ever. So taking that in consideration and actually stepping back and out of my whatever mindset and actually taking a moment to think, that was the best decision for me to do. Um, so it was more, I made a decision because, like, for one, at the time I couldn't see me being married with my husband or whatever. I couldn't see that. But he was really a good guy. And I didn't want to lose him. And I also could not find anybody I could trust either, because how was I going to find somebody I can trust? So, yeah, that was why I stopped smoking all the way. So it has been 10, almost 10 years probably. It has been 10 years since I smoked green. Um, and now I sit back and look at all the things that's going on, and I am very thankful. I'm very thankful. Um, I'm thankful to God that God blessed me with such a great man. Um, and I'm thankful that God put it on my heart to see something different than what I thought that I wanted at one period. Um, so yeah. Anyway, I say all that to say that anything is possible. Anything is possible, and oops, I'm messing with my mic. Um, if you want it, you can do it. If you want it, you can do it. Um, so yeah, that's it. I'm done. I'm done with my hair routine. That's almost like an hour. Let me. I didn't even. I have not been looking at the comments. Let me look at the comments. Oh boy. All right. Let me see. Oh, I missed a lot. Not driving. I'm fixing changing my channel. Okay. Okay. Been there before. Okay. Would fine. Oh, hi Barbara. How are you? I hope you're still here. I didn't even see you, friend. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Baltimore is top. Watch you talking about East more for life. Top dog and what? I'm just top dog and what? Because right now the rumors, what's being reported is we top dog in drug use, which is not good, because if you think about, drug use really breaks up the family. And right now I'm speaking about the black family, like moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandma. granddads, like drug use is really breaking our families apart. So I don't know what we're top dog in, because we're going to need that family. We need our family unit to be intact. Um, there's a lot going on right now, a lot going on. Um, I'm not going to talk about what's going on, but there's a lot going on, and we need our Black families to be intact with a clear mind and focus on the mission at hand. We don't need our Black families uh, broken apart and spread all around for real. So I don't know what we're top dog in, like, because it's we need to be a unit. Like, I don't think that people get that. I don't think people get that. Like, a lot of people look at the money aspects of things or whatever and everything, I guess. Um, but yeah, we need our families to be intact. We got families out here with no head of the family, because the head of the family is on rugs. So if the head of the family is on rugs, where does that leave the children in the family? I don't know what we're top dog in. I'm just, I don't know. I'm a recovering addict. I was addicted to. That is a thing though. My mic cover fell off. Why you ain't tell me? Oh no. I didn't even know my mic cover fell off. But yeah, that is a thing though. I did talk. I spoke on that actually. Um, and that can get you jammed up too. That definitely can get you jammed up. Like what about good the go say? Don't trust a big butt and a smile. Don't trust him. Don't trust him. Don't trust him at all. I can't get my mic back on here anyway. I don't know. Let me just. I wonder where's my other piece. I'm about to end this live anyway. I hope I'm not too scratchy. But anyway, it's almost an hour, so let me find my other piece. But this live has been good. I am going to try to come try to find my other piece of my mic because I don't know what I sound like. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's get this on here. Hopefully. Okay, there we go. All right. Now I feel like a real content creator. Let me stop. I'm silly. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna try to come back live. What's today? Today is Wednesday. What is time? It's 3 o'clock. Oh yeah, I gotta get off here before the 3 o'clock mark. Um, it's Wednesday. So I am gonna try to come back live Saturday. I said that before. I said that last week, but yeah, Saturday definitely. I'm gonna try to come back live because I want to talk about I want to talk about what is the lady's name? Something Johnson, Nicole Johnson. I want to talk about Nicole Johnson. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, Nicole Johnson. It was 2021, and I remember when I seen this body cam footage recently. I remember seeing her face, but in 2021, she was got pulled over in a traffic stop, and she had after everything, she had I don't know if what I can say on YouTube or not. She had unalived um this is hard. She I don't know, whatever. She had her nieces and nephews um unalived in her trunk. So recently the body cam footage has came out from that. And though there are some things that I want to talk about that footage that I found very strange and very odd. So I do want to come back, probably, hopefully Saturday. Hopefully we can come back Saturday, and I do want to talk about that. It's just a sad, excuse me, it's just a sad situation, very very sad. So yeah, I'm not gonna get into it right now, but yeah, sad situation. So all right. Well, I guess my hair is looking a little bit better. I don't know. I don't know. I know my hair seems to be growing really fastly. Like, what is going on here? This is just hair outside of the plant. Like, I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. So, I want to put my. Um, let's see. Let's see. I don't like this bonnet. This is a big bonnet. Somebody with a bed. I can put this down. I don't know. That's hot. I don't like hot stuff. Okay. All right, we're good. 57 minutes. Wow. I was trying to get a whole hour. Like, it seems like the time is going very slow. This is hot. I'm gonna find something else to put on my head. Whatever. Whatever. How is it not 1 hour yet? I'm just waiting for the hour. Because you used to be playing. Used to be playing with my watch hours. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They really playing. Thank you guys for liking a live. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you liking a live. I appreciate you commenting and talking back with me. I miss my friend Miss Barbara. I'm so mad that I missed her, but I had to get that out. I had to get that out. Like, I really did. How is it not? I need some water. All right. Let me see. All right. It's still not 1 hour yet. That's crazy. This is very hot. I need a better bonnet or something. Mm-mm-mm. Finally 1 hour. All right. All right, you guys. I'll see you guys. Hopefully, hopefully I can make it Saturday. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make sure I come back live Saturday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking the live. If you have not liked the live, please like the live on your way out. and I'll see you guys in the next one.